Привет всем! С вами я, Janie, и это College Russian. In today's video, we are going to be doing the C part of our PCP, which is the comprehend / concentrate learning our instrumental endings. So it's going to be very much in the format of an explanation plus quiz. So you're going to be drilling and quizzing and drilling and quizzing. This is the ideal way to learn these case endings because you can hope that you're just going to eventually learn them by osmosis. But the fact of the matter is, at some point, if you really want to write and speak correctly, you have to do this uncomfortable bit of sitting down and drilling yourself on these endings. And of course, I always try to bring these case exercises to life with real life context. How would you use these kinds of instrumental endings in context? So there will be lots of opportunities for that kind of practice throughout the video. So go ahead and get ready to practice those endings. If you haven't already gone over to my website, you can download these worksheets to go with it. And again, I'm a big believer in writing something out by hand. I think they're really useful. Those are all available over on collegerussian.com. Real quick, please, if you haven't subscribed to this channel, please subscribe. It always amazes me how many weird like voyeurs there are, just kind of like lurkers, people who come and watch the channel but haven't necessarily subscribed. So I don't know, if it pains you to push the subscribe button, but please do that. And if you're enjoying this channel and you find the content useful, please share it. A little while ago, I saw my YouTube channel mentioned on a Reddit about learning Russian, and I was like super excited that somebody out there found my channel useful and was telling people about it on a Reddit thread. So if you're one of those people that you're in groups or something, again, please tell people about my channel. Tell people there's this crazy American lady that just really gets excited about Russian grammar, and she's kind of psycho. But hey, you learn. Hopefully you learn when you come here to my channel. So again, like I said, today is the comprehend part of PCP. This is the part where we sit down and we drill and we practice and we drill and we practice. So let's go ahead and get started. In our previous video, in the perceive version of PCP, we learned about some of the different instrumental uses. And granted, there are tons of them, but these are the main ones for this point in your Russian learning for right now. So those were some of them. And then throughout today's video, you're going to see these used in context. When I have you using instrumental case in context, they're going to be in these kinds of sentences. So let's go ahead and dig right in. Again, go ahead and download the accompanying worksheets. I promise you will internalize all of this much more effectively if you have those worksheets on hand, and they're free. So go over there and check them out. Okay, so here we go. We're going to start off with masculine and neuter nouns. They tend to do similar things, and that's why I usually pair them together. Now, if you're one of these viewers that you don't even know what gender of nouns is, you're going to want to backtrack a little bit, and I will link to the video where you can backtrack and just get introduced to the concept of gender in nouns. Otherwise, you're going to be very lost. So let's get started with some masculine nouns. So if you have a masculine noun that ends in just a good old consonant, no myaky znak or anything like that, we're just going to add okay? So what you would end up with are things, so start in your head, start anticipating what these are going to be. Okay, so start anticipating what these words are going to be in instrumental case, and then you get to feel really triumphant and awesome when you get it right. So you're going to add to the end of it. So you would end up with things like sportom, like over here in this Soviet propaganda poster. Занимайся гребным спортом. Bratom, врачом, and then языком. Good. So let's see another one. So here's some of the neuters. And as you can see, they end in o. So we're specifically interested in the neuters that end in o. Утро, morning. Мясо, meat. Яйцо, egg. Блюдо, like a dish, like a type of meal or a dish. Okay, so start anticipating how these are going to look in instrumental case. And here comes the reveal. Утром, мясом, яйцом и блюдом. Так. Okay, so these are just our nouns. Now, when we have something that has a soft ending, soft endings are represented by и краткая, so that's this letter right here, мягкий знак, and then ye in neuter. So that's how we know something is soft. So that's where we're going to get yem on the end. All right, so start anticipating what we're going to get here. All right. We missed out on that one. So it should be учителем, музеем, and зданием. Учителем, музеем и зданием. Так, now we're heading straight into adjectives. Okay, let's look at, these are typical, again, hard stem endings. So новый, черное, жареный. As you can see, there's going to be a theme throughout this, which is food words. So we've got new, black, and fried. Okay, so what you do with these adjectives is you're going to replace the last two letters with So for example, over here, one of the uses of instrumental case is to wish people a happy something. You literally say with the new year, с новым годом. All right, so there you can see it, с новым годом. So here's how all of those would be. All of those adjectives would be masculine or neuter, instrumental. So новым, this again could be masculine or neuter. Черным, жареным. There we go. Okay. Now, if we have a soft stem, and the way we know if an adjective has a soft stem is to put it into the neuter. If in the neuter we have a ye on the last two letters, we know it's soft, in which case it's going to get a different treatment, as well as anything that's affected by the 7-letter spelling rule. Hopefully at this point you know about the 7-letter spelling rule because it really does affect a lot of things. And I do have a video for that. You can search for it on my YouTube channel. So in blue are the letters that are affected by the 7-letter spelling rule, meaning we cannot write wait there. We have to write e. So these are going to be ранним, русским, большим, свежим. Okay. Now let's put these into context, right? You're never just going to say something in instrumental case without a context of some sort. So here we go. Let's put some of these in context. So for example, if you want to tell somebody, I drink coffee with milk and sugar. Let's think back to those endings. I'll give you a second. This is our drilling and quizzing. So start thinking how you would put some endings on there. All right, here we go. Pause if you need to, because I'm about to give the answer. Я пью кофе с молоком и сахаром. Молоком и сахаром. There's our endings, which are typical on nouns. Next, the way you would say my friend and I, my parents and I did something, is you say мы с, and then the мы conjugation of something. Okay, so how would you say my Russian friend and I went to the movies? Okay, so take a minute. We haven't necessarily learned mой, but if you go over and download the worksheet, I have those all broken down, how to put мой, твой, наш, весь, этот, all into instrumental case. Again, those worksheets are just awesome. They have everything you would ever want to know. Okay, so I'm about to reveal the answer here. Мы с моим русским другом. Мы с моим русским другом ходили в кино. My Russian friend and I went to the movies. Так. Следующий контекст. Я ем вареники с... So I eat vareniki, that meal that hopefully you saw in my other video. They're like the little pierogi, like the dumplings, with fried onions. Fried onion. So let's put that into instrumental case. Я ем вареники с жареным луком. С жареным луком. Вот так. Я ем вареники с жареным луком. Следующий, another use of instrumental case is when somebody works as something. So this is tricky. This is tricky. This adjective is not describing учитель. Resist the temptation to do anything with this, because what you're literally saying here is my friend works as a teacher of English. So we need английского to remain the same because it's implying of English. So you're actually only going to change учитель in this sentence. All right, you ready for the reveal? Here we go. Учителем английского. Мой друг работает учителем английского. My friend works as an English teacher. Okay. Next, all of those times of day that you've probably been saying since the beginning of learning Russian are actually instrumental case. You just never realized it. So now you're going to say something like, I wake up in the early morning. I wake up early in the morning, kind of thing. And you're going to need instrumental case to do that. So we've got a soft stem here, a soft stem. So that's where our adjective is going to be a little bit different. Here comes the reveal. Я встаю ранним утром. Я встаю ранним утром. I wake up early in the morning. Next, okay, this is your opportunity to now use instrumental case to talk about yourself, which is always what I'm trying to get you to do is come to life, be your own person in the Russian language. Let people know about who you are. Here we go. Как часто вы занимаетесь русским языком? Как часто вы занимаетесь русским языком? Ну, я лично, я занимаюсь русским языком каждый день, потому что это моя работа. Это моя работа. Да? Вот такие дела. А как часто вы занимаетесь русским языком? Вот. Now we go into the feminines. And again, you can start if you haven't noticed, all of these little propaganda posters on the side, they have an illustration of a word in instrumental case. So just for your own entertainment, you can start looking at these and see if you can find the word that is in instrumental case in these posters and see if you can understand them. All right. So if you have a feminine ending in a, you are going to replace the a with oy. Okay. So what we would get here is зимой, подругой, сметаной, картошкой. And notice if the oi is not stressed, like zimoy, the oi is stressed. So we're really saying an o. Now, if it's not stressed, it's going to kind of sound like this. Listen. Ой, подругой, сметаной, картошкой. Okay, so that is having a more correct pronunciation than saying oi, oi, oi when it's not stressed. All right, next, if it ends in a ya, we're going to replace that ya with a yay. So vishnya, which is cherries, istoria, and something like Россия. So we're going to replace those ya and get a yay. Vishnyей, историей, Россией. Вот. Now there's this really weird moment. There are a few nouns that end in ya, and if the ya is stressed, then this is so crazy. You're going to say yoy on the end. So, с семьей, землей, for example, something is located под землей, beneath the earth or underground. So yeah, anytime you do something with your family, you have to say this weird ending. С семьей. Okay, вот. Okay, now here's another interesting thing in feminines. If it ends in a мягкий знак, you're going to add a u on the end. So over here, this Soviet propaganda poster, she's saying, this is a pionierskaya forma, like the old pioneer kind of the scouts, the Soviet scouts, they had a certain uniform, and she's saying, wear it with honor. So честь, meaning honor. So she's saying, wear it with honor, my son, right? So let's see. Ночь is going to become, and you've been saying this probably since you were first learning Russian, it's going to become ночью. Осень, meaning the fall, is going to become, or the autumn, is going to be осенью. And so just the word осенью means in the autumn, in the fall. Zelen, again, we had a food theme going on here. Any type of greens that you garnish your food with. It's usually parsley, dill, green onions. So zelen, зеленью. Потом любовь, with love. In fact, you can sign off your emails and your texts. С любовью. And again, that's specifically for feminines ending in a мягкий знак that get that u ending. All right, let's head over to adjectives now. Okay, so adjectives, if in the feminine they had I-ya ending, we're going to replace those last two feminine letters with oy. Okay, so we would say something like, that would become новой русской черной. Вот так. Next, and I'm going to point out something here. It's something called the 5-letter spelling rule, which is affecting two of these words. And if you want to learn more about it, I have an explanation about that on one of the worksheets that you can go over and download, because I'm not going to go too much into depth on it here. So синяя, we're going to get yay here because that's a soft stem. And we can tell that that's a soft stem because anytime we see a ya has to go to a yay for sure. Now over here, we're still going to get a yay, even though I just told you that ya goes to oy. I wasn't lying. That's usually the case unless it's after a husher and it's not stressed. The ending is not stressed. That's called the 5-letter spelling rule. So you're going to say хорошей, свежей. And by the way, you can really only hear the difference. You can only see the difference between these in writing. You can't hear it in spoken speech very well. So it's not the end of the world if you accidentally say хорошой instead of хорошей. Again, everybody's going to understand you. It's not that big of a blunder. So we go from синей to хорошей, свежей. And now let's practice using these in context. So we eat пирожки, those delicious little, yum, yum, yum. I can't remember how to say them, but like they're fried bread with a filling. So how would you say we are eating пирожки with cabbage and carrots? Морковь is feminine. Remember those crazy endings that feminines with мягкий знак get. Here we go. Here comes the reveal. Мы едим пирожки с капустой и морковью. Мы едим пирожки с капустой и морковью. Так, Maria and I are walking in the park. So, how would we say this? What happens when we have a «я» on the end of something? Мы с Марией гуляем в парке. What? And by the way, that's I gave it away down here. Всегда с партией. We're always with the party. Next. Этот ресторан находится рядом с. So the phrase next to, рядом с, needs instrumental case. So this restaurant is located next to a beautiful river. How would we say that in Russian? All right, here comes the reveal. Этот ресторан находится рядом с красивой рекой. So notice, this oi is not stressed. С красивой, and then this one is stressed. Рекой. There we hear a good hard oi sound. Так, next. Okay, well, we have two happening here. So what you're saying in this sentence is, last fall, my family and I went to Spain. Woo! You ready? Okay. So here we go. Remember, семья was one of those super weird ones. See if you can remember how to say that. Okay, here we go. Прошлой осенью мы с семьей ездили в Испанию. Прошлой осенью мы с семьей ездили в Испанию. Так. And now this is a chance for you to answer using a feminine ending, okay? Because история is feminine. So I'm asking you, какой историей вы интересуетесь? Например, американской историей. Я интересуюсь американской историей. Я интересуюсь европейской историей. Я интересуюсь русской историей. Right? Are you surprised by that? Это правда. Я очень интересуюсь русской историей. И я также интересуюсь русской литературой. Вот. So practice answering that for yourself and leave it in the comments below if you want to get your answer corrected. All right. Now we have come upon plural. This one's super fun. I just think these endings sound so funny in Russian. I don't know why. So, ягоды, berries. Ягоды, грибы. And notice the stress is on the end there, so it's also going to be stressed in the instrumental endings as well. Грибы, руки. Вот мои руки. Okay? And then blюда, the original of this, if you remember, was a neuter. And remember, neuters get when they become feminine. О gets an when it becomes plural. So the original was an о. To make it plural, we turned it into an a. So it's going to get this same treatment in instrumental. Now, why do I have a little звездочка here? Why do I have a little star? That is because you're going to put ami if the letter before the plural is one of the 7 letters. Okay, so we're not going to write rukyami. That just does not sound right. I think this is actually called the 8-letter spelling rule, if I remember correctly. So let's go ahead and put these into context. So even though we have an E right here, it's after one of the 7 letters. K, G, H, Sh, Ch, Ch, J, and then I believe the case, yeah, that's all of the 7 letters. So now let's practice pronouncing these. Ягодами, грибами, руками, блюдами. Так, okay. So next, we're going to do any plural nouns that end in an E, right? So преподаватели, родители, семьи. And then друзья is actually an irregular plural, but it's going to behave in the same way. And then a lot of those endings that have like a iya ending, and these are always borrowed words. Позиция, ситуация, дискриминация, линия, композиция, история. All of those are like borrowed words, and they're going to get a yami ending. And then здания, oh, that looks like it's a feminine. Nope, that's a neuter plural. Remember? Neuters that have a ye on the end, when they go plural, they turn into a ya. And so it's a plural. Okay, so let's now put these into instrumental case. Семьями, друзьями, ситуациями, зданиями. Вот, so we have families, friends, situations, and buildings. Okay? And now we got to address adjectives. So maybe you could look over here at this Christmas card or this New Year's card and see if you can start anticipating those endings, right? С новыми успехами. Так. Новые красные, we're going to replace the ые on the end with ими. So we would get something like новыми, as illustrated right here, красными, for example. Now, if it ends in an iye, and you'll see that very often in words that are affected by the 7-letter spelling rule. And then down here, ранние, we have an iye here because this is a soft stem. And we can find soft stems in adjectives if they have a ya ending in the feminine. Okay, so we're going to replace those with русскими, большими, свежими, ранними. Okay? Теперь в контексте. Let's practice. Давайте попрактикуем в контексте. Я ем блины. I'm eating блины with fresh berries. Как вкусно. Я ем блины с... So start remembering those plural instrumental endings. Я ем блины с свежими ягодами. And look what just happened. I suddenly added an o on here. Why? Why did I just suddenly add an o? That's all because the next word has a consonant cluster, 2 consonants right together at the beginning of the word, one of which is an S. So it makes it easier to say со свежими ягодами. Вот. Следующий. My parents and I cook together. Okay, so how would we do this? My parents and I cook together. Мы с reveal. Мы с моими родителями готовим вместе. Так, окей. Следующий. Бабушка занимается. So remember, заниматься gets instrumental case because you're busying yourself with something. So бабушка занимается. So she does her household chores, like her household things, her household affairs. Дела. When you say как дела, you're saying like affairs, etc. So бабушка занимается. She does her household chores all day long. So here comes the reveal. Бабушка занимается домашними делами весь день. The original of this was a neuter. This is a neuter plural. It's not a feminine, it's a neuter plural. Always look at the adjective, the preceding adjective, when you're not sure what gender something is. Okay? Хорошо. So now is your quiz time. And this is where, if you're one of my students, you're going to actually write out your answers to this and you will submit them to me and we'll go over them in class. And if you're just one of my viewers, this is your chance to get some feedback on how well you know instrumental case. So here is your quiz. All of these could be, you're going to have to identify what gender it is and then try and remember those endings and leave your answers in the comments below. And either I or one of my sweet, helpful viewers, my native Russian speaker viewers will help you and correct those endings for you. Here we go. So here it is. I always write with a black pen. Я всегда пишу, and then you gotta give that phrase черная ручка the instrumental treatment. Сын занимается, so my son is working on he's busy with his homework. Номер 3, Alexei and I are going to the bar. Прошлая осень, so last fall, I started to busy myself or like to study or work on Russian language. Номер 5, number 5. Я люблю йогурт I love yogurt with fresh fruit. 6. Мы хотим быть. So if you remember, when you want to be something or you want to become something, it gets instrumental case. So мы хотим быть. We want to be famous musicians. Good luck with that. So here we go. Again, just a reminder, we'll leave it there. Pause your screen, leave your comments below. And then just a reminder, if you want to really solidify your knowledge of instrumental case, head over to collegerussian.com. The link to that will be here in the description below. And keep coming back. We're going to be doing these exercises for all of the cases. So you are going to become an expert in all of the cases. I give you so much opportunity to practice this and use it in context because I understand how much these cases hold people back and make people scared to speak. So yes, you could just disregard them and speak without them, but it will sound extremely annoying. And there will be a lot of miscommunication as well. So you can do it. This PCP method is proven and it does work. Again, remember, I'm available for tutoring. You can always email me if you're interested in that. And then hopefully coming this summer and fall, I will be having online classes as well as my online course that will launch. Это все. Надеюсь, что вам понравилось вот это видео. Пожалуйста, оставьте комментарий. И не забудьте, пожалуйста, подписаться. И спасибо за просмотр. До свидания.